Hey everyone, Mrs. Spatola looking at the answers from last night's homework. We're looking at the LCM, the least common multiple of sets of numbers. Remember, one strategy is to start listing with the larger number first and look at the smaller number to see if that is actually a multiple of the larger number. Here are the answers for 1 through 7. Pause the video, check your work. And here are the remaining problems. 9 LCM is 72 and 11 LCM is 60. Let's take a look. Today we're going to be changing improper fractions to mixed numbers and mixed numbers to fractions. A review lesson, hopefully you'll remember, and let's have a look. Unit 5, Lesson 2, Converting Mixed Numbers to Improper Fractions. And we'll be going from improper fractions back to mixed numbers. How can you write mixed numbers as improper fractions? Well, first of all, what we want to do is look at what's a mixed number and what is an improper fraction. Well, if we scoot a little further down the page here, we can see that a mixed number is made up of a fraction and a whole number. Some examples would be, let's say, 5 and 1/2, 2 and 3/4. An improper fraction, on the other hand, is a fraction that has a numerator that is larger than the denominator. So the numerator, if you recall, is the top number of a fraction. The denominator is the bottom number. So for example, if we have 11 over 2, that is an improper fraction. Or if we have 11 over 4, that is also an improper fraction. One more could be, let's say, 8 over 7. Those are all improper fractions because they have numerators that are larger than the denominators. If we take a look at the top here at our info box, this box is basically going to be a guide for our lesson today. When we're changing mixed numbers to improper fractions, basically all we do is we're starting with the denominator. So let's say we have 6 and 2/5. What we're doing is we're starting with the fraction denominator and we're going around in this order here. And what we do is we take the denominator of the fraction, we multiply it by the whole number, and then we add the number that is the numerator. We bring over, as you can see, we bring over and we copy our denominator for 5 here. And once we multiply 6 times 5, or actually 5 times 6, we get 30, plus 2 is 32 over 5. We are now finished. Moving down the page, converting mixed numbers to improper fractions. Mrs. Gelderman and Mrs. Spatola, we have our strange ways of remembering things. We call this the circle of life. If you remember the Lion King, we call it the circle of life. Very weird, but it does make sense. And we're going in a clockwise manner, and we start with the denominator. We multiply the whole number. We add the product to the numerator, and then we write the sum over the denominator to create an improper fraction. Again, if we take a look right over here, here is a direction box, okay? Multiply, we have 4 and 1/3. The directions say multiply the whole number by the denominator and add the numerator, and you keep the same denominator. So if it's 4 and 1/3, we start with the 3, we multiply by 4, so 3 times 4 is 12. 12 plus 1 is 13. So we put the 13 as the numerator, and we just simply bring over the denominator, and our answer would be 13 over 3. Let's take a look at some example problems. We're going to change mixed numbers to improper fractions. Ready? Let's do some examples. Number 1. You start with, and I like to make that circle. We'll be looking for this in your book. It's a simple circle, and it kind of gives you an idea of the direction that we're moving in. So for 4 and 2/3, we multiply 3 times 4 which is 12. 12 plus 2 is 14. And all we do is slide over that denominator, and it's 3. Let's do one more together. Number 2, 5 and 4/7. We make that little circle because it reminds us. Do you have to do that? Boys and girls will ask us, do we have to do that? No, you don't have to do it. But even for me as a grown-up, it reminds me the order in which I have to do things. So 5 and 4/7, we say 7 times 5, which is 35, plus 4 is 39. So we write the numerator as 39, and we just slide that 7 over, and we are finished. One more, and then you're going to practice the page. 9 and 1/3. We make that little circle. There we go. 3 times 9 is 27, plus 1 is 28 over 3. And there you have it. Try the rest of the page on your own. Pause the video. Do them all first, and then go back and check it. All right, so pause right now. Complete 4 through 9, and then check your answers. Good luck. And there you have the answers completed. Check your work. Hopefully you did well, and let's move on to the next page. Now on this page, we're doing the opposite. Here you're going to be given the improper fraction, and you're going to change it to a mixed number. So this is improper fractions to mixed numbers, and we say box top or simply divide. So step 1 says divide. Please make this correction. Let's switch these around right here. These should be in the opposite order. It should say divide the denominator. So let's just switch the order here. Divide the denominator into the numerator. So the denominator into the numerator. Switch these words around. That's a little mistake there. Typo. Okay, so we're going to divide into, so the denominator goes up into the numerator. Your remainder becomes the new numerator, and the denominator stays the same. Be sure the fraction is in simplest form. Now, you're going to have a calculator to help you, but the calculator is not going to do all the work. You are. You can use it to check your division only. So let's look at our first example. 17/5. Now, if you recall, anytime you see a fraction bar means the operation of division. It means divide. Fractions mean, remember I said this, divide, divide, divide. So 17 divided by 5. So we have the numerator being divided into the numerator, or we can just simply say that the numerator is being divided by the denominator. So it would be set up like this here. 17 divided by 5, and then if you set it up with a division box, the top number, the numerator, always goes inside the division box. So it's 17 divided by 5. So here we can see 17 divided by 5, and we do the straight division. 5 goes into 17 3 full times. Okay, you subtract. Your remainder is 2. When you have that remainder becomes your new numerator. That goes as you follow the little arrow here. That becomes your numerator. Your denominator was 5 to begin with. That stays the same. And then your quotient becomes your new whole number. So 17/5 written as a mixed number is 3 2/5. Let's take a look at example number 1, 14/3. Well, basically what you're going to do is you can actually, if you need to divide it, you can put it in your calculator. But remember, it would look like this. 14 divided by 3. 3 goes into 14 how many times? 4 full times. 4 times 3 is 12. Subtract, and we have 2. So our remainder is 2. So it becomes 4. And 2 is my remainder, that's my numerator, and my denominator, my original denominator stays the same, is 3. So 14/3 is equal to 4 2/3. Let's look at number 2, 37/8. Well, I know that 37 is being divided by 8. So you can go ahead and put that in your calculator. So it would be 37 divided by 8. and that would be 4. Now, how many are left over? So if you want to jot it down, you can do it this way. You know you have 4. 8 times 4 is 32. And your remainder is 5. So it's 4 and 5/8. And that's how you change an improper fraction into a mixed number. Now what we're going to do is complete some practice. Convert, which means to change the improper fractions to mixed numbers. So basically you're going to be doing the division. If you'd like to do the work on the paper here, you can. If you're using the calculator though, it's going to change it to a decimal for you. So if you want 20 divided by 5, that's a whole number. That would be 4 and you are done. 19 divided by 4. So if you'd like to set it up and go ahead and set it up this way, you can. That would be 4. How much is remaining? 3/4. Some of you, I know for me personally, once I set it up like this, I need to see it this way so that I can see. You can do some of the division mentally in your head, but if you would prefer to write it out, you definitely can. Let's go on. We'll do one more together. 22/7, or 22/7. So I know that's 22 divided by 7. Okay, I know my denominator is going to stay the same. Okay, 7 goes into 22. I know 3 full times. So it's 3. There's 1 left. 3 and 1/7. All right, your job right now is going to be to complete numbers 4 through 9 and do the word problem number 1 at the bottom. Pause the video. Give yourself some practice time. Remember, practice is always part of any good game. And then start the video up again. Your answers will appear. Make sure you're checking your work and trying your best, and you're on the honor system. All right, give it a shot. Go. And there are your answers. For the word problem at the bottom, John jogs 7/4 of a mile. Kathy jogs 1 3/4 of a mile. Do they jog the same distance? Explain. Basically, the question is asking, are they equal or equivalent? And the answer is yes. They jog the same distance because once I changed my mixed number once I changed my improper fraction into a mixed number, I could see that they are equivalent. Or I could have done the other way around. I could have changed my mixed number to an improper. So the answer is yes. So let's take a look and see what's left for today. So your homework is going to be this page here, and you're going to complete all the problems. So the top part is converting mixed numbers to improper fractions. The bottom is going to be converting improper fractions to mixed numbers, and that's it for today. This is Mrs. Spatola wishing you a great day, and remember, always be kind.